Hey everyone, I'm back with another video today. So today for this video I wanted to talk about my photography journey, just to continue the theme of just getting to know me, and what I'm about and all that stuff. So I really wanted to talk about my photography journey and how I produce photo shoots. So I got started in photography during college, with actual cameras in college. I bought my first digital camera when I was a freshman. I was a freshman in college, and I bought it on Depop. A little risky because I could have been scammed, but I got lucky and I wasn't scammed, and I got a really good camera out of it, which is hold on, I'm gonna go grab it. Whew, okay. I haven't used it in a minute, which needs to change, and I'm going to produce something soon. So everything that I'm going to show you came with what I bought. The case for the camera itself, and then the actual camera itself, which is a Canon. It's a Canon Rebel XS, and it did come with a little bit of wear and tear, but nothing that wouldn't allow me to use it to its full potential. So it came with that, and the battery, the charger. It came with an SD card too, so that was really awesome because it only cost about $120. So I got that, and I would use it mostly for outings with my friends or behind the scenes of any film I was working on at the time, because I was a part of a film club in college. So I would use that camera to take pictures and post them and just, practice and just get stuff out there, because I've always been very passionate about photography from a very young age. I just never had the resources to professionally photograph, and when that was the case, I would just use like my old iPhone 6, and I would just take pictures that would replicate a lot of Tumblr aesthetic vibes. So yeah, my Instagram page back then was very feed goals, and when people would do the TBHs on your comments and stuff, that would always be the go-to, and I was very proud of that. So then once I got this camera and I started doing more professional pictures, I really felt like that spark was back for me. And I did that for 2 years, and I'd take pictures of my friends as well, and just, us hanging out. Never really put myself out there to actually produce something editorial, just because that wasn't really something I had even thought about, crossed my mind even. So then once my fourth year came around, my last year of college came around, I started getting more into it. I started loving fashion a lot more. So my very first photo shoot, I focused on my housemates, the people I lived with during college at this time. I asked them all hey, I really want to try something out. Will you guys be my models? We'll just get in your most eccentric attire, do your makeup the craziest way, the most loud way you want to, that you would never do ever in a day-to-day. And they did, and they were really excited and helped me out, and I really appreciate them for that. And I'll make sure to put some pictures too to show. I loved it so much, and the reaction from my followers was amazing. That was a drive. That was fuel for me. I did that shoot, and then I went on winter break. So then obviously when I was away from school, I was getting a lot of positive attention, and I was like, oh wait, I'm onto something here. Once I got back to college after break, new year, I was like, okay, I need to do as many shoots, get as many ideas out there, build up my portfolio, because I want to be a photographer. I want to be a fashion photographer. This is my bread and butter. I love doing this. I love making my friends models. This is amazing. It's not like I wanted to do quantity over quality. All of my shoots had the same amount of attention. I just wanted to make sure I can get as much of my ideas done before I went abroad in March. So I had from January to March to produce as much as I could with friends and acquaintances around me. As soon as I got back to college, I posted on my Instagram like, hey, trying to build my portfolio, who wants a free shoot? I will do it for free. And I got a lot of responses, and I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll obviously post examples and pictures from these shoots on the screen. So that happened. I got a lot of responses. I produced a lot of stuff. After a few that I had done for free, basically, I got people who wanted to pay me for like their grad shoots, for just personal pictures that they wanted of themselves, like photo shoots and stuff. So I did get some money out of it, which is awesome. Like that also really touched my heart, I guess. Like, oh wow, like I can actually make money off of this. Obviously I didn't charge crazy because I'm barely getting started, and I was sympathetic to the fact, empathetic to the fact that we're all in this similar situation. Like, we're college students, you know, you just want really good pictures of yourself to commemorate your graduation or just who you are present day in that moment. So I did do a lot of those shoots, and I had so much fun. And then I went to DC, and then I stopped for a bit. But I still produced a shoot in DC with a friend I made there, which is awesome. Since I graduated, I've produced a few, and I made sure that my portfolio was all updated with everything as I posted it. I would tease them and then post them and see what people thought, and I loved seeing the subject, the model, be hyped up in the comments. That's why I do it, and they just look so sick. Like, yeah, I just really enjoy doing that. I've taken a break since, just because work, and I want to get my YouTube up and running, and it's harder to move around and meet people and, you know, shoot them, right? So I definitely have taken a break, and I'm trying to get back into it. But I really wanted to just make this video to explain how I got into it and how it was very scary at first to put myself out there like that, but I had to really just tell myself that people will judge and criticize, but your art is more important than your audience if you're really about it, you know what I mean? If you are wanting to get out there and become a photographer, go for it. Just do it. It'll be so worth it. You'll feel so fulfilled. At least I did. I also wanted to get into how I produce them. So when I was advertising myself, like, hey, who wants a free photo shoot? I got a few responses, as I said. I would do them in the order they came in, right? I would reach out to the person, like, hey, this is some ideas I had. Is there anything you had in mind? Let's work on this. Let's talk about it. Even if it's free, like, this is how you're being portrayed, and it's important that you have a say in this. Like, you know, like, right? So we would talk, we'd share some ideas, and then I would make a Pinterest board, and I'd share it with them. So they were adding stuff and I was adding stuff, and then we'd go over like our favorite stuff and then kind of go from there. So then I would location scout. Location scout was just really like, okay, let me look back at my Rolodex of places that we could do a photo shoot where we won't get in trouble. One, it won't be loud, and there won't be people that we have to work around, you know, so kind of isolated places, or go when these places were dead. So we would do that. And we would also talk about wardrobe. So if I had something that would match the Pinterest board, I would offer my pieces up, and vice versa. And then we would meet, we'd do it, and we just take the pictures. Once the shoots were over, I would move the pictures from my camera to my phone. So I would edit them on my phone. I tried editing on Lightroom, Photoshop, but it was just way too much to have to move them from my camera to the computer. They lose their quality, and it just takes so much longer. So I learned that just moving them from the camera to my phone with a little cord, I guess, exporter, worked just as well. So I would literally just export them to my photos, edit them on there, and then I'd move them to a Google Drive. In some cases where it was like a grad post, I wouldn't post it. I would wait for them to post it, announce it, and then they would just tag me. But yeah, that was how I got into it and how I do it. And I'll, like I said 4,000 times already, I'll put pictures around here. And yeah, just I wanted to share that, and hopefully it inspires somebody to do it if they've been thinking about it before. You don't need a whole bunch of money. You don't need these like expensive, crazy programs to edit your pictures. I didn't. You definitely don't. You don't need all that. If you wanted to see my full shoots, they are on my Instagram. If it doesn't look like my face on the cover, it's a shoot. Just keep in mind, you don't need crazy equipment to make something happen, you know? And it's not about the equipment that you use. So it doesn't matter if you have a $1,000 camera or $120 camera that you found on Depop that's used and old. If your heart is in it and you want to put something out there, you should do it. I think that's all I had to say. That felt like really fast. Yeah. That's how I got started. That's how I produce stuff, and hopefully this is a learning experience for somebody else, or a push to do it, you know what I mean? Because I really needed that push myself, and God, I wish I can remember like why I started doing it, why I did that first shoot with my housemates. I really don't remember what pushed me to do it, but I felt like I had to, and I did it. And then once I did it once, it was like, oh, okay, like I could do this, and I started producing more and more and more. And I will say that working with all the models that I've worked with has really helped me break out of my shell, and has exposed me to new things and new ideas, and just being more open-minded with how I photograph and how I photograph. But yeah, if you do want to see the shoots, as I said, go check out my Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube username. I just call me Carla, and just scroll down there. There's some that are pinned at the top that I really love, and they just show my range. But yeah, scroll around. I don't have a portfolio page because I did have one. I had a web page, but it was free because it was through Adobe. So it was free when I was a student. But then a few months after I graduated, it got taken down, and I didn't really have the means to spend money like that on a web page. So I make sure to really just focus on getting all the attention to my Instagram page, so you can see everything on there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and peace and love.